howdy Twitch, howdy YouTube. How are we doing? How are we feeling today? Welcome to the show. You got Jimmy Moreland here from Veteran Audio. I am a voice actor, audiobook narrator, and music producer. And today on the show, we're going to be having some fun. We're going to be doing our normal stuff, and that is auditions on the big voiceover casting websites. That is voices.com, Voice123. Then we'll head over to ACX and see if there are any audiobooks for us to perhaps take a look at. Today, we're going to be doing something a little bit different there a little bit later on. Larry, what's up, brother? What's going on? After we get through all of our auditions today, we're going to be doing a little bit of social media content production. So we just wrapped an audiobook project yesterday. Was burning the midnight oil yesterday and delivered another audiobook. And something I like to do for every audiobook that I finish is I produce a little sort of like a video with sort of the cover art of the book and, you know, a segment of the narration. And you'll get to see the app, the website that I use to produce these videos, and sort of the entire process of my Pro Tools project where I produce the audio for it and bring in all the assets into this website. It also has an app, so you can actually do all this kind of stuff on your phone. I like to do it on the website because I like to have all my tools and everything at hand. But we'll get to that stuff later in the show. The website, by the way, you may have heard of it if you've done any kind of this kind of work. Headliner is what we'll be using later, and it just makes I could do all this stuff in Premiere or After Effects, but Headliner really does make it super easy. So that's what we'll be doing a little bit later in the stream. But for right now, we're going to get to work here, and we're going to do some auditions. We're over here on voices.com. We're actually going to come off of full screen and look at this little message here. What do I got? Someone want to give me some money? Hey, files have been approved. Love to see that. So we're coming back here. Oh, we got an email as well. Very cool. Cool. All right. So let's take a look at this first job. We're only a 90% voice match. We've got to figure out why that is. It's because of this role instructor. I keep saying I'm going to update that, and I will someday. But we're here pretty early to this job, so we're going to go ahead and jump into it. Interesting. During this recorded event, we may make forward-looking statements within the meaning of the federal... During this recorded event, we may make forward-looking statements within the meaning of the federal securities laws. These statements involve assumptions and are subject to known and unknown risks and uncertainties that could cause actual results to differ materially from those discussed or anticipated. For a complete discussion of risks associated with these For a complete discussion of risks associated with these forward-looking statements in our business, please refer to our SEC filings, including our most recent quarterly report. Where is that? Oh, statements in our business. Please refer to our SEC filings, included in our most recent quarterly business. Please refer to our SEC filings, including our most recent quarterly report on Form 10-Q and our most recent annual report on Form 10-K. Okay, so this is there are certain sort of required like disclosures and disclaimers and things that you'll find in a lot of things that are related to business and finance, as well as pharmaceutical. And those have a pretty sort of kind of a standardized kind of read. Very matter of fact. You're not doing a character, obviously. It's really straightforward, and just don't get too crazy with it, and you'll be fine. Presentation intro. Sure. We'll just put the job number here. 724788. There we go. Reply to job. This one here. There's the budget. Select the file. Auditions, there it is. All right, get the next track ready to go. And we are ready to go. And I'll also make it to where you can hear the punch and roll process. Okay. Promo invite for corporate event. Better budget. There's a reference file, but it's a .pages, which is like a Mac only format. I would not be able to do anything without that. Do anything with that without doing something crazy with it. We are looking for someone with a strong Boston accent. Hey, no, that's not me. I'm not even gonna try. Like the time it would take for me to work up a Boston accent to sort of refresh myself and make sure I could do it well. Larry's saying my stream volume's super low. Interesting. All right, I'll go into OBS here. Mike Ox. All right. Hopefully this is a bit better. Let me double check. I've got a compressor on my mic here. Not that one. Properties. I thought I had a compressor on here. No? Filters. Here we go. Compressor threshold. Let's bring you up to -8. Why don't we? And then output gain is 6. So that should be pretty solid. Then there's also a limiter, which we're going to put at -3 now. All right. Hopefully this is a bit better, a bit louder for you, Larry. Thank you for the feedback there. It's like I don't really have a good way of telling what's going on. I kind of have to just trust in my meters. So that's actually looking. Hopefully that's better. All right, we're going to move on here. We've got this job here. We always pass on jobs from this particular client just because they just never seem to be a good fit for us. And that's reflected in the voice match that we're seeing here. Yeah, I definitely appreciate it, Larry. So hopefully you can hear me a little better now. I know what it's like, yeah, for sure, to watch streams and be like, damn, like I can't hear this. I have to crank everything. And will you look at this? After clearing out this particular client's jobs, we're done on voices.com. Gonna mute for just a second. Ooh. Could come up more, Larry says. All right, we're gonna really be pushing this to -1 dB in OBS. So we'll probably bring up the loop back as well, and hell, probably need to bring up all kinds of stuff. But we'll mess with that later. But there we go. That's as loud as my scaredy pants is comfortable with bringing it up for right now. All right, we're over here on Voice123. Now, first part of Voice123 is that I have to take you off full screen so that I can check each of these jobs and make sure that these clients are not using their full first and last name. We don't want to be doxing anybody here. It looks like we've got like 5 jobs from the same client, sort of all going into the same project, likely. We've got a couple more to check to make sure we're not doxing anybody. And on the next page, should be 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. All right, everyone's good. Let's go back to the first page here. All right. So what we like to do here to make our life easier on Voice123 is sort of quickly clear out jobs we know that we're not going to submit for. So first way we do that is we look for jobs where, let me zoom way in here so we can see what I'm talking about. These 2 numbers here, 34 out of 25 proposals. That means that this client has paid to hear 25 proposals or auditions from us. They've already received 34 auditions. So they've received more than they've requested. And that means that it's extremely unlikely that we're going to be heard by this client at all. So it would kind of be a waste of time for us to submit for this. It might be good practice, but we're kind of done practicing. It's time to work. So we're going to look for jobs that are over the requested amount of proposals, and we're going to pass on those. So this one, 55 out of 50, we're going to pass on that. 35 out of 25, pass on that. And that's everything that's over the limit. Now, the next kind of job that we're going to pass on is jobs where the budget says looking for a quote. And I've gone on and on and on about this, but to very quickly do it again, Voice123, as voice talent, you live and die by the algorithm. Everything is about the algorithm. And the way it's supposed to work is that we as talent, we're supposed to only audition for jobs that we're a good fit for. We need to be able to read read the specs, the description, all of these details, and get a good sense of whether we are a good fit, and only submit if we are. That saves everybody time. And the way that sort of ends up flowing into the algorithm is if we only submit for things that we're a good fit for, we're going to get hired for the jobs we submit more frequently. And we're going to get shortlisted by clients. And the way that clients shortlist on these websites is they like or thumbs up your audition. So if you're submitting for things that you're not a good fit for, you're not going to get hired, and you're not going to get likes and thumbs up. And that's what pushes you down in the algorithm. If the algorithm sees that you're submitting a ton of auditions and you're never getting a like or hired, the algorithm's going to start to push you down. And that's when life really becomes unpleasant on the website here. So that's how it's supposed to work, just that. But when you start bringing in looking for a quote as the budget, there's another way you can get pushed down in the algorithm, and that's by not being a mind reader. I have no idea what this client's budget actually is, because the budget just says looking for a quote. I don't know if this client has a fair market rate in mind. This is an audiobook job. I know what my fair market rate is. It's $250 per finished hour. Many, many clients on this website put jobs up for closer to $100 per finished hour. That's not a fair market rate. That's below a living wage in most parts of the US. So I don't know what this client has in their mind. And whichever way I quote, that could end up hurting me in the algorithm, because if I quote too high for the client's budget, they might go, wow, this voice really is a great fit, but the budget is just, man, it's 2.5 times what we had in mind. So obviously I'm not going to hire them because I can't afford them, but I'm not even going to shortlist them, because why even consider shortlisting them if we can't afford them? So suddenly I'm getting dinged in the algorithm because I quoted too high. Or what if they've got a fair market rate in mind and I try to lowball, or I don't respect myself enough and I quote super low? They might see my audition and go, wow, they've got a perfect voice for this, but they quoted so low. Clearly, this isn't a serious voice talent. Clearly, they don't know what the fair market rate for this kind of work is, so they're not professional. So we're not gonna hire them, and we're not even gonna shortlist them because clearly they're not a professional. So suddenly, I'm getting dinged in the algorithm because I've quoted too low. And here's the dilemma. I have no idea. I have no way to know if this client has a real budget in mind or not. There's just no way for me to know. And so it's a huge risk for me to submit an audition for any job where the budget says looking for a quote. So generally speaking, we don't. Sometimes you'll get indications in like usage and these details, like if it's mentioning, SAG-AFTRA rates or things like that, then like that gives you a good indication. Okay, maybe I can quote like a real rate here. But with this, nothing. That looking for a quote is absolutely useless. And this client posted 5 jobs in a row. Clearly they are casting like a multicast, like children's book. And so they're trying to cast all the voices for this children's book. If I can make one change to Voice123, it would be to eliminate the looking for a quote option for clients. We got another one down here, looking for a quote. Sustainability program ad. Like, let's look at it. Like, all of this is good. Like, this all looks like a real, like a genuine, a good quality job to do. Except, I have no idea what this client, where, give us a ballpark. Give us a range. Let us know if it's, between $500 and $1,000, like they do over on Voices. On Voices, you never see that looking for a quote crap. You see a bucket, and then you can quote within that range. And on Voice123, you've got the option to tick a negotiable little switch. And that's fine if you're in the client's ballpark. But I don't know the client's ballpark. If I'm within $50 on my quote, then yeah, that negotiable switch is great. But I don't know if I'm going to be within $50 of the client's budget if I quote, say, $390. For something like this, we don't have an idea of the usage, though, so we don't know. Again, if I could make one change on Voice123, that would be it. If I could make more changes, I would. But if I had one change to make, it would be that simple. And it's something they could implement so easily. Okay, so we've cleared out the jobs that we know we're not going to do. Let's look at the other jobs and see if we're going to do them. All right, we've got sustainability web vids. This is troubling. Whenever you see that they're looking for male or female adult, or if they're looking for huge age ranges, it's one thing, obviously, if they're casting multiple roles off of one job. But it's like, okay, do you know what you want? Like, why don't you know what you want? Educational ag videos about dairy sustainability. Manure for web. No accent. Okay. Let's take a look. Nutrient. I love it. Let's see here. Okay, so this isn't... So if you're going to read this, you can zoom in just a little bit here. If you're going to read this, you'll often see scripts presented in this way. There will be a table, and on the left, you'll have either a description of the visual that you're seeing, or maybe musical or audio cues, and on the right will be the text. This is a case where you need to pay a little bit of attention before you hit record. You're not reading this as the voiceover. This is an interview type of shot, some kind of like on camera with this Tim fellow. So Tim's going to be saying this stuff. We're separating all the manure produced on the farm. Blah, 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 blah. You are reading down here, VO. That's what we're reading here. So I would say Fessenden Dairy utilizes a fan separator BRU, or bedding recovery unit system, designed by Bauer North America, and so forth. So basically, and they've done a very helpful thing of color coding. So the dark gray cells, those are us. So this video is going to be very long, it looks like. Going to be at least a few minutes long. But we're not narrating the whole video. We just have little pops where we come in to sort of bridge the gap between these likely on-camera sort of interview shot type of setups. So this actually seems like this might be a good job worth doing. Now let's take a look at how many. There's already 30 out of 35 proposals. Let's refresh the page and make sure we're not going to have the horrible situation of producing the audition only to find that, like right at the end, a bunch of auditions came in and put us over the limit. That would be a bummer. So we'll go ahead and do this one. I've done a bunch of ag video work, and they're great jobs. Love that stuff. Fessenden Dairy utilizes a fan separator BRU, or bedding recovery unit system, designed by Bauer North America. The fan BRU system is designed to reduce potential nutrient leaching into waterways. Okay. Designed by Bauer North America. The fan BRU system is designed to reduce potential nutrient leaching into designed by Bauer North America. The fan BRU system is designed by Bauer North America. The fan BRU system is designed to reduce potential nutrient leaching into waterways and provide safe, clean bedding for cattle. So there's that section. Let's scroll down and get the next one. It's safe, clean bedding for cattle. Jeff Porter serves as technical advisor for Nutrient, a checkoff supported entity focused on reducing dairy's environmental footprint. The environmental, economic, and efficiency benefits it delivers are not insignificant, according to Porter. Jackie Schnurr delivers a serves as. We've got loud vehicles driving by, so maybe we pause for just a second here. Are not insignificant, according to Porter. Jackie Schnurr serves as Dean of Faculty and Professor of Biology and Environmental Science at Wells College in Aurora, New York. She visited Fessenden at Wells College in Aurora, New York. She visited Fessenden Dairy through a conservation innovation grant to get a first-hand look at Tim and Rhonda's system and run some tests. Ooh, and do what? We're going to do this so that we can get rid of that breath. Innovation grant to get a first-hand look at Tim and Rhonda's system and run some tests to measure the impact. And that puts us at 50 seconds. We could read more. We could go. But in voiceover, the standard is 50 to 60 seconds for an audition. If the client can't make a decision whether they like you or not in 50 to 60 seconds, you probably don't want to work with that client. Audiobooks are a different story. Audiobooks, the standard is 3 to 5 minutes. So if you've got an audiobook client posting an audition script that's like 10 pages long, you need to cut it off somewhere. It happens. That's that stuff. I see it all the time. But that's your job as the talent to know that that's not the standard and to deliver the standard instead. 3 to 5 minutes for audiobooks, 50 to 60 seconds for voiceover. So we're calling this what? Just Fessenden? Or just nutrient? How about nutrient? So this product, it's e-learning would be the category. It's basically just a really long commercial. Accept the invite. What's going on here? Why is my window looking... Oh, they just changed it. Okay. So Voice123 has changed how their window looks. Interesting. So there we go. Budget stated by client. Up to... See, it's a little bit annoying, but it's way better than looking for a quote. Up to $400. Now, I could just put 400 and maybe tick the negotiable box. In fact, I think that's what we're going to do. Or you know what? Let's be a little bit cheeky. We're going to drop it a little bit and keep the negotiable box ticked. You never know like what's in a client's head. It's not a whole lot of copy. There's probably maybe another minute of copy. And I'm fine giving away $60 to potentially get this job. So there we go. Submitted. Easy game, easy game. Let's go back to the project list. GOTV New York. They're looking for a Latino accent. Obviously, that's not us, so we're going to pass on it. Let's take a look here. LS Fall 24 Benji VO. What does that mean? Matching on-screen talent. So do we have an image of the on-screen talent? How are we going to match the on-screen talent if we don't know what they look like? Like, if Benji is Japanese, then that's obviously not us. Like, matching on-screen talent. That's really annoying. I'm going to guess that this is not us because it says young professional. Now, I am of an age range where I sort of am straddling that young to middle age type of age range. I'm still in my 30s. But my voice is not straddling that gap. My voice firmly falls onto the older side of that range. So anytime it says young, like, yeah, that's not us. Since I was 16 years old, like, I've been mistaken for my grandpa when I'm on the phone and stuff. It was almost overnight where I would like answer the phone at home. Almost overnight, it went from like being mistaken for my mom because I had the little kid voice, and then the next day, hello, like being mistaken for my dad or grandpa or something. But we're going to pass on this one again because, again, if this was on voices.com, sure, I'd fire it off an audition. You never know. Maybe we are the perfect voice for that. But on Voice123, you got to be really, really careful, really, really selective. So we're going to pass on that one. Just double checking that we're good up here. Okay, oops. Let's take a look here. Here we've got a reference video. That's what we love to see. Earnest and uplifting narration of a sports event. Generally speaking, I'm not your sports voice guy. They've got a reference here, though, and we're going to watch it.
Relentless in their cheer and gentility.
We get an idea what they're going for. Let's see here. I just want to look at the script. It could be fun. Behold the eternal flame that ignites. Yeah. Like, we do love to see this. Just like, generally speaking, this is the perfect example of a client who has done their job. They have clearly put the accent information, voice, gender, and age. They have made a decision, male, adult. They've got like very descriptive, earnest, confident, uplifting, hyping up the grandeur of a sporting event. Just all of this like really does contribute to getting a sense of the kind of sound that they want to hear. A bit hyperbolic and over the top, shades of Bob Costas, Al Michaels, Bill Walton, and giving us a video reference. They have a fixed budget. They've got all of their usage here. Paid media, no. Duration, in perpetuity. For non-broadcast, in perpetuity is fine. For anything broadcast, never, ever, ever give up in perpetuity. That is a huge, huge bummer. License shall be perpetual, exclusive, lasting in perpetuity and without limitation. That's a bit... Okay. Yeah, but not for broadcast. That needs to be made clear. And it does say here, paid media, no. So if suddenly you see this on television or hear it on the radio, this would be... You might have a way out. But I'm just saying that this is an example of a client who's done everything right. This, I don't like this. Like, we get it in perpetuity. Like, we get it. You don't have to get, like, posting all of this legalese in your additional detail section. That's a bit cringe, bro. But other than this is what we want to see from clients. This is the model that Voice123 should be like. When a new client comes in, Voice123 should be like, hey, new client, look at this as a good example. This client has made decisions. They've come with an idea of what they want. They've communicated that to the talent so that we know if we're right for it. I know I'm not right for this because I'm not your sports promo guy. But there are plenty of sports promo guys out there, and that is hopefully who these 38 people who have already submitted. That's hopefully who that is. Suffice it to say, we're declining that. And there we are, done on Voices and Voice123 for the day. Now, we've got our little email plugin in Chrome that if we get an email that comes in, we'll get a ding. I couldn't have planned that any better. That is from an author, so that's not something we need to check. We're going to actually mark that as read right now, and we'll check that later. But if we get one of those dings and the visual reminder, we'll look at that preview there, and we'll see if it's a voices.com job. And if it is, we'll drop whatever we're doing, and we'll take a look at that job. Because, again, voices.com jobs are time sensitive. You want to get to those. Let's head over to ACX for now, though. We're going to make this full screen so we can see what we're doing. Hit refresh, see if there are any brand new projects. And we're going to go over here to gender and check just male. And we're going to see if any of these are right for us. Now, I note this, we've seen everything from this job down. I remember seeing the Dude, Where's My Flying Car job. And so there are two new jobs that fit our selected filters, which right now is basically just gender and budget being very important. Budget. I'm looking at the $200 to $400 per finished hour bucket. I am unbelievably busy with audiobook work right now, and so looking at any other bucket below this would be just silly of me. But let's take a look at these and decide whether these would be right for us, whether we're busy or not. Now, I don't even need to click into this one, but we will. We'll just open it up in a new tab. If someday comes a slave's story of freedom, we are not the right narrator for this. We are actors. We are able to portray lots of different roles as audiobook narrators. And frequently in a story, hey, Vince, good to see you. Yeah. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, we're discussing why we're not going to take some of these audiobook jobs. This one is because it's a slave story of freedom, and that obviously we're not the right narrator for this. So enough said there. And then this one here, French Dirt, the story of a garden in the south of France. Let's take a look here, see if we can read some more. It would be best if the narrator is fairly fluent in French, or at a minimum, be able to pronounce French words correctly. Them specifically calling that out makes me think that there's going to be quite a lot. And while I can absolutely work up, individual words or even some phrases, I am not a francophone. I do speak a fair bit of Spanish, but French is a bit more of a challenge for me because the French language makes no sense. So, for that reason, we would be passing on this one because it's like, do we really want to spend all of that extra time on study and research to make sure you get these pronunciations right? I don't think so. So, we're going to pass on that. So, going back to the feed, that's it. That's everything on ACX. But we are not doing ACX. We're not focusing on audiobook auditions right now because we are soul-crushingly busy with audiobook work. In fact, I don't know if we want to call out anybody, but there may be authors in the chat right now. The calendar is chock full. And this author knows it. But what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be doing some production of social media content for an audiobook that we just finished. Something that every audiobook that I do, unless it's for like a big publisher that's like, no, like we handle all of that kind of production stuff. Like we don't want you doing that kind of thing. That is a thing. But otherwise, for every author, I produce a little bit of video for social media. So it's like vertical and it's got some audio. So we're going to be doing that. So first thing, we're going to go over here in Pro Tools and we're going to open up our audiobook file, our project for the audiobook that we just delivered yesterday. So here it is, big, lovely project. So what we're going to be doing first here is we need to find a good 30-second snippet, something that has hopefully some action or something interesting, something that there's no spoilers, doesn't give anything away, but something that is hopefully a little bit interesting. And sometimes when I'm narrating, I'll make a note oh, that'll be great for the headliner later. But for now, I actually think that the prologue might be interesting enough. So we're just going to listen through and just hear what we hear and see if anything grabs us. Welcome back to my Tales from the Afterworld. Now that you know who I am, I will take you back in my final work as a mortal, but only scratch the surface. Machinations, driving events behind. Maybe not the prologue. Let me try to think of another good spot that'll have some cool audio. I also have, obviously, this one was a dual narration, so I've got Teresa, my narrating partner. I've got Teresa's audio to work with, but obviously, I know my audio sections better than I know Teresa's, and I haven't discussed directly with Teresa, hey, do you want me to use your audio to create one of these videos? Maybe we will. Maybe we'll make two different videos, sort of showcasing one and the other. That might be fun. But for now, I think we're going to focus on my audio, and we're going to try to think, and maybe we'll just just jump into chapters and see what's up.
You or anyone else says it was fake.
All right, that's a Eugene section. I can tell from the voice, and Eugene is definitely not a good guy. We don't want to feature Eugene at all.
as she sat alone on a bench surrounded by trees.
Okay, let's keep going.
To dare insubordination. Ah, the foolishness of youth, Adamson said inside his head. Yes, indeed, the voice said.
I don't want to get too much into some of the situations in the book that you kind of need some context to have any idea of like what the hell is going on. So that'll be one that we won't use.
He hoped to wash away his night so as not to scare Suzanne. Once presentable, he'd...
You know what? This actually, maybe we'll come back. There's a little sort of miniature action sequence in here. I think it might be in Chapter 8. Maybe?
He hopped out, shoved the knife in a back pocket, and started down the steep embankment. He slipped and caught himself on a blade of stone and sliced his left palm.
Okay.
Blood flowed, but he gave it a glancing notice and focused on the vehicle's submerged lights as it eked toward a steep drop. Its engine burbled, and the headlights went out. He slid off his jacket and tossed it on the rocks by the lake's edge. He removed his belt in one fluid motion and secured it around his left forearm. He strode through the light, broke the black, and grew like a... The young woman suddenly appeared healthy and bright as she sat alone on a bench. The grave-faced man continued.
Right.
Her head turned. An instant smile lightened the scene as deep blue if they'd been dead for a shore in the pouring rain, and his heart ached as he desperately worked to save the little girl in the pink dress as the gentleman's eyes prodded him on. He broke the lock and shook his head. The tingling and where he could, the woman slammed her palms into his chest, sending him airborne into the water. He inhaled lake, then popped up, hacking in time to see the woman frantically scurry up the embankment at unnatural speed. He held his crotch and sucked in enough to croak, "Stop! I'm trying to help you!" The woman ignored him and was out of sight when she passed the edge of the road. He heard frenzied movement up the mountain, and seconds later, foot patters faded into raindrops. He shook off stomach-churning pain.
Okay, so that'll be the end of the clip. The start, maybe back here.
He returned to the lake shore in the pouring rain, and his heart ached as he desperately worked to save the little girl in the pink dress as the gentleman's eyes prodded him on. He broke the lock and shook his head. The tingling and burning dissolved, but he remained dazed. He regarded the woman's face and felt a compulsion to mend her and protect her at any cost. What the fuck? I gotta get some sleep, he thought. The woman coughed, spat water, and coughed again. Her eyes shot open, and she kicked him in the balls. He grimaced and tried to catch his breath.
Okay, so obviously in this social media promo, we're not going to be including profanity, and I don't want to have the first thing someone hear, "Oh, cool, a new post from Jimmy, promoting the next book. Kicked him in the balls." That's a bit rude. I do want people to understand that this is a gritty story for sure. There's realistic use of profanity. There's realistic, not over the top, but realistic violence in it. But I think people might get the wrong idea, might get scared away if you pick the wrong excerpt here. So as interesting as this excerpt is, I think we gotta pass, or maybe move on further.
Bankman at unnatural inhaled lake. Before he could, grimaced and tried to catch his breath. Before he could, the woman slammed her palms into his chest again. Her eyes shot open, and she kicked him in the balls. He grimaced and tried to catch his breath. Before he could, the woman slammed her palms into his chest, sending him airborne into the...
What is this duration? You know what? I think we can make this work.
He grimaced and tried to catch his breath. Before he could, the woman slammed her palms into his...
Yeah.
The woman ignored him and was... Later, foot patters faded into raindrops.
Okay, so we're gonna render out, bounce out, all of this here. We're going to navigate to... Do I have a headliner folder on this computer yet? I don't. All right, so we're going to call this headliner. Audio. There we go. Use this folder, and we're just going to call this 032 narration. We don't need the MP3. There we go. All right, now we're going to open. Now we have to find, this might take a while, because interview with death I didn't do on this PC. So I built this PC a few weeks back. Yeah. And so now I harvested the drives from the old PC and put them into here, but there's still the issue of having to search for things. So this will be on the old read. Pro Tools, Sessions, Headliner. Oh no, this is gonna be this is gonna be miserable trying to find this thing. Might be in here. Not seeing Headliner here, but there's like all of these. Man, my folder naming was such a mess. Look at this. Untitled 1. Like, oh my God. We're going to find it though. We're going to find these stinking things. Let's see here. It's not in Headliner Audio. Oh God. It's not in here either. We might just do some search. Actually, I think maybe an instrumental writing. Here we go. Headliner. And I think, let me look at my numbers here. I think 31 is going to be it. VO. Actually, I need to be over here in backups. 031. Yes, we have it. Sure, save. All right. So for these, we're producing all the audio first because the video part all happens on the Headliner website and it's really fast and simple. No. Interesting. We're gonna have to do some tweaks here. Now, why are we backwards here? Configuration. Please. Why don't I have that configuration available? That's extremely annoying. Let's go ahead and make this full screen, and that'll make it easier to drag things around. So here is that. Here's our actual music stuff that's going on, as well as our audio here. So this is the audio for the promo video that I did for book 1 in this series. And right now we're producing the audio for book 2 in this series. For every one of these projects that I do, I create original music for the series. And in this case, I might actually want to have new music for this title because book 1 and 2 are quite different as far as like what characters they're following. So the first series, I'll go ahead and mute this. The first book in the series follows the characters. One of the main characters that it follows is the Grim Reaper, Death. And he is described as looking and even sounding and kind of acting like Johnny Cash in his old age. And so I thought it would be fun for the music for this promo video to produce something that sounds like a Johnny Cash track. So take a listen. So obviously I'm basically cribbing off of I Still Miss Someone. If you are a fan of Johnny Cash, you may recognize that I'm kind of stealing that riff. But for this promo, the character of Death is a very, very small character in the second book. And so having music that's basically highly referential to the death character doesn't make a lot of sense. So we're going to do something a little bit different. Maybe we'll just... A little cheat that I like to do is basically keep the tempo the same, keep even like the drum tracks mostly the same, and because these are virtual instruments, I'm going to do just a lot of simple revoicing, and then maybe we'll do a little bit of... We're just gonna have some fun. We're doing music production on the dang old live stream today. Why not? So first we need to import our new narration so we know how long we need to target for this project. Let's go import audio. And that went into... Let's see here. It would have been into the... Surely not into this, right? Yeah, it'll be in the right drive. Pro Tools bounces, headliner audio, narration. Okay. Bring it into the clip list so I can just drag it right here. So right now, that's way long. So we're going to actually...
What the fuck?
Okay, so we need to trim this down. Maybe to here.
Her eyes shot open.
No, we're cutting that as well.
He grimaced and...
There we go. That is where we're cutting it to.
He grimaced and...
Let's go ahead and cut out this opening breath. We don't need the catch breath here.
He grimaced and tried to catch his breath. Before he could, the woman slammed her palms into his chest, sending him airborne into the water. He inhaled lake, then popped up, hacking in time to see the woman frantically scurry up the embankment at unnatural speed.
Uh-huh.
He held his crotch and sucked in enough to croak, "Stop! I'm trying to help you!" The woman ignored him and was out of sight when she passed the edge of the road. He heard frenzied movement up the mountain, and seconds later, foot patters faded into rain.
Okay, we've got this, can we please ignore automation right now?
And seconds later, foot patters faded into raindrops.
Okay. I think we like all of that. So we're going to need to go a little bit longer on this new track because our narration excerpt is longer. I thought maybe we would maybe cut out like a little section here or there that would help us recover a couple of seconds. But no, we're going to go ahead and stick with this. So there's a couple ways that we can extend this. Obviously, we could copy and paste this, get us another drum loop. This drum loop would extend us to... We want to basically be ending the music right as the narration ends. So ideally, it ends, my narration ends, and then within the next half a second, we get a final downbeat that rings out, and then we can fade that out. So we could extend this loop to here, and that would be pretty close. We could probably just shift things around a little bit, or we could adjust the tempo. If we just slow everything down a little bit, or we drag this out and then speed it up, that could help us like really surgically get to where we wanted to be. So let's see what that actually looks like. Obviously, since we're going to be messing with tempo, any real audio, we got to clear that out because it's not going to follow the new tempo, at least not in a way that we want to hear. So let's take a look here. Let's look at, please show me tempo. So right now we're at 72. Let's go a little bit faster than that. Let's see what 76 looks like. Okay. We might have to split the difference here. Yeah, let's split the difference there. Let's try 74. That might be a little too perfect. Actually, you know what? That actually looks pretty good. I think that if we do something like this.
Later, foot patters faded. Later, foot patters faded into raindrops.
There we go. So now, okay, we need to save as, and we're going to save it into the correct drive, and we're going to have a more sane file tree here. So Pro Tools Sessions, and we're going to make this its own thing here. So headliner. Put it in here, and this is 032 headliner, right? That's the job that I'm on right here. Yeah, 032 headliner. So now let's start having some fun. Let's start playing with these sounds. Currently, let's go ahead and mute the narration. This is our drum loop right now. Make sure you can hear that. So it might be a little bit quiet, but that's a pretty simple, straightforward. Oh, we need to have it actually currently ignore that automation. So you should be able to hear this a little better now. We're actually going to switch over to our big boy headphones as well so that we can really hear what's going on mix-wise. So big boy headphones. And bring this up. All right. So we want to change the sound of that. And we need to sort of get an idea for the vibe that we want. What's the general vibe of this book? This book is called Accidental Healer. Lot of fun, really cool stuff happening. Lots of like big plot points for the broader story. There's a lot of there's some real heartbreak and tragedy. But what we're hearing here in this excerpt is sort of one of the initial sort of like big plot points in the book. It's pretty early on. I think this came from chapter 8. Out of 96, 94 in the book. So it's pretty early in the book, so it's not like we're giving away huge spoilers by briefly talking about this meeting. We're not even mentioning names or anything. So I wouldn't call this spoiler territory. But given sort of the energy, the intensity in this little scene here, I think we want something with a little bit more energy and intensity in the drums, just in the sounds that we're going for. So let's open up Contact. I've got the Native Instruments complete suite that I grabbed. It was on a pretty good sale a couple years ago, so I grabbed it. So we've got, here's our drums here. Now, we could stick with, I do like to stick with natural drum sounds sort of as the foundation. And then if I want something that sounds a bit more electronic or something like that, I'll usually apply effects to the natural acoustic drums. That's typically how I like to go about my production workflow. Obviously, if I wanted something super specific, then yeah, I would bring up something like Machine or something like that to get, if I needed an 808 sound or something like that. But I think we're going to have fun with what we got here, and instead of messing around with the drum sounds right now, we're going to mess around with the drum loop and get something a little bit more impactful. So let's listen. Okay, so that's my so let's bring in, we need some hi-hat, and we're probably going to double this actually, so grab these and double that over. So actually, we might even make that there, and then have these be on the. So next, we're going to bring these down with volume, and I know I'm going fast here, but that's the name of the game. We got to be quick. Maybe bring these up a little bit. Okay, that's sounding all right to me right now. We're going to duplicate this a few times and then start adding a little bit of interest into them. So maybe we get like a double kick leading into this one. And then maybe here we get an open hi-hat that's a little bit louder. I do want to also do a little bit of, well, actually first, grab all of these hi-hats, and then we're going to randomize them just a little bit. Want to humanize it just a little bit. And so to do that, we're not going to do any kind of quantizing. We're going to do change velocity. And so we're going to randomize this. Actually, all these settings probably are fine. Can we randomize it a little more? All right. That's probably good. But now we are, by hand, going to boost the 1, 2, 3, and 4 of these, just to give us a little bit of a push on those beats. So let's hear this loop. Let's go ahead and grab these. All right, that sounded fun. Let's bring that down a little bit, make it sound more like a grace note. And let's double this, and let's actually make it flam. So we're doubling it, but to make it flam, that means we need to shift this just a bit. So let's hear that. Yep, that sounds good. So we can actually grab Alt to here and delete that. We're not going to get too much more specific than that. Like, this is just backing for a... like, the narration is the star of the show. It should be. So you don't want to be too intense with your... with what you've got going on. And let's make this an open hi-hat. Why not? And then we'll let that fade out. All right, there's our drums. Now we need to start messing with the sound. So first thing I want to do actually is take it off of a brush preset. And in fact, let's get a kit in there that has a little bit more bite to begin with. So instead of the vintage kit, we'll probably go with like the 80s drummer. Oh God, is it not loaded? Okay, here it is. Let's go with the 80s drummer. We're just going to bring in a light kit. There's no reason to bring in the full kit for something as simple as this. So here's the light kit. We'll give it a second to preload. Oh God, it's going to take a lot longer than a second. I need to get these libraries loaded on one of my M2 drives because currently they're on an external drive. So that's why this here is taking a while. Does this count as hydration? Is this the secret of a good voice talent? Oh boy. All right. It's still loading, but we should be able to hear at least something. Oh, I hate that. Let's hear some of these just presets. Maybe we can get something that doesn't sound quite so... Ooh. And it's still working, it's still working. It's a little better. Okay, so those are just mixer presets. The snare is what I really hate. So I'm going to switch the snare, see if this one sounds any better. It's a lot better. We're going to want to mess with it, so let's keep listening. Okay, let's go to the mixer. Bring the hi-hat down, or maybe the overhead needs to come down. Snare up. What do we got here? Sustain is down. Let's bring that up. Let's actually take all of these off here. I'm going to be doing my own little submix on there. Actually, you know what? Let's leave them on because I don't get too crazy as far as, like, I don't even split out my drums on the on a project like this. It's just down and dirty, simple, just trying to get the content out. So we're going to let the channel strip handle this basically just as a bus. This guy needs to be, we're going to bring up, what are we at, like 50 or 60, actually like 55 hertz for kick. 55 hertz for the kick, just a 4 dB boost, and then a nice boost for the high end, generally speaking, and then we'll do a little cut around 2 to 400. And then we will set our compressor here. Let's make it a little stronger. 3-to-1. And then boost the gain. All right, that seems fine to me. Now let's really start having fun with the sound. We're gonna start, and I think we're gonna use my favorite, and that will be, where is it? Not lo-fi, although that could be fun, but we're probably gonna use trash on this. Generally on this stream for standard voiceover stuff, I like to do as much as I can with stock plugins as possible, just to show folks out there that, like, hey, you can do a full audiobook with just stock plugins. You don't need to buy anything other than RX. You got to buy RX. But since we're doing some extra special stuff that's way outside, you know, the requirements of your job as a narrator or voice talent, we are going to be using some stuff that I've bought. So this is Isotope Trash. Isotope is the same company that makes RX, but this is part of their music production suite. I also have the Ozone mastering suite, which is also super fun. But Trash, this is where we're going to get some really fun, aggressive, more electronic style noise out of these drums. And this is what's going to give this a lot of character. So we're just going to press play and then start playing with presets and then with settings. So let's take a look at classic textures first. Why not? Too much delay. I love that. I'm not even going to look anymore. That's killer. We're going to stick with that. That delay is like such a perfect syncopation. Like, God, that hits hard. I love that. All right, bass. Do I want to put some real bass on this? I think I kind of do. I think that'd be fun on the stream. I've never played any instruments live on the stream. I could just sit here and like click on a grid for our bass lines. You know what? No, we need to do electronic bass here rather than playing in a bass. So we're going to actually just steal. Oh, we can't. We're going to, currently, just to make things fast here, we're just going to duplicate this channel. There we go. Get rid of that. But contact is what we want. I'm going to just call this bass. Oh, you jerk. Synth bass, thank you. Or actually, do we have in the channel list, do we have a synth bass already? Let's take a look here. Oh, we do. Show and make active. What have we got here? Okay. So let's actually delete this track that we just made. Let's see what we got on here. Oh, this is a string bass here. We're not going to do that. We're going to do something fun and electronic and whap, whap, whap. You know what I mean? We want to whap, whap, whap. Let's take a look at what we've got here. We actually probably want to switch over to, yeah, we're going to switch from contact to, what's it called? Absinthe. Do we have any absinthe enjoyers out there? It's an underrated spirit. Absinthe is delicious, especially if it's freezing cold. Okay, let's take a look here. Patch, yes. Browser, thank you. The type, bass. Maybe a sub bass. Let's look at digital bass, and let's just we need. Hello. Okay. Grab all of this and delete it. Delete, delete, delete. Should be nothing there. Okay. We're gonna write in. Where's beat one bar one, please? We're gonna write in a bass line in the key of, let's go D minor. That's a vibe. Boom. Dun, dun. Why not? That's kind of dirty. Actually, this is what I mean. Oh, that feedback loop. Oh my God, that's. Ooh. Boom, boom. All right. Real simple repeating line here. Let's go ahead and grab these two and just loop them, and then we're going to start listening to different patches to see what bass sound we like. We're gonna make the bass line a little bit busy, just so that we can. Sort of a funky little line here that I've got there, but this should help us figure out whether we like these sounds or not. I like that. Funky wood. We might come back to that. Whoa. We're going to stick with funky wood, and then we'll mess with it a bit. Let's hear it with the drums. Just filter here. Get rid of the browser. Please go to the attributes. Please the patch. Here we go. Envelope. Huh. For God's sake, please undo, go back. Okay. I haven't used Absinthe a whole lot, but we can get back to it. Visual bass, and it was funky wood. Go back to the patch here. Larry, my live drums, they're set up. It's not an impressive setup. But I don't have a full set of drum mics yet, so I can't really record the drum mics. Plus, they're out in the broader studio room, so I don't have a camera set up out there. It wouldn't be great, you know. Whoa, you're throwing shade on DI guitar? Give me a break here. I do from time to time DI my guitar. You leave me alone. I don't have time to be setting up amps and mics. Come on, man. Who has that kind of time? Let's see here. It's the wave shaper, the filter oscillators. I would really like to mode sustain. I want to be able to, you know what? We're going to stop messing with it. We're going to say good enough. That's the name of the game. Just work until it's good enough and then be done. Bum, bum. Do I want to end on the 6 or on the 1? Let's end it on the 1. Let's go ahead and hold that out for a full measure. God, that feedback loop is so cool. Yeah, just really simple, and once we do mix, we're gonna start bringing some cool stuff. I will actually do I am gonna go ahead and grab the guitar, and we are going to record some interesting textural stuff just for fun. So I'm gonna grab that. It's right outside the door here. Telecaster inbound. Bring this back up. Now, if I were recording this for something other than some simple social media content, then I might set up the amp. So sick. I might set up the amp. I might do a lot of things. But here, I'm not even setting up a preamp. I'm just going direct in to... All right, channel 5 there. That all looks good. Let's go electric guitar. Hello, hello, hello. I think I just need to put on this. Let's see if is that coming through OBS. It sure is. All right. You get to hear me tune. Actually, I might tune to drop D. Is that one shaped like a flying V or a lightning bolt or a spider? Those Dean guitars, man. All right. Okay. So, let's listen to, we're just going to loop these. Simpler is better. That's going to be my my approach here. So we're going to make it a really simple, just repeating looped riff here. And then we're going to go absolutely nuts with texture. This is all about texture, not, you know, it's not like I'm doing a country record here where I want like cool licks happening. So this will be all about texture. So for right now, I'm just going to try to get a good clean take with a nice riff, and we're going to set up a loop region in order to do that. So we need to turn off elastic audio for that for right now. And then we want to be in playlist mode so that we can loop this. And hello, let's go ahead and set this up to be, we need a pre-roll of 1 measure, sure. Oh, please loop, dickhead. Loop. There we go. Output on this guitar is so hot. Let's try this again. It's just totally. Let's try this again. All right, I think one of those is good. Do another two with a melody change. See, that would have been that absolutely would have been my my instinct as well. But like the narration really needs to be the star of this show. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to be happy with these two living side by side like that, copying that one there, and then now giving myself a ring out. Oh wait, how's that work here? Ring out, ring. Okay. So let's get in here and tidy up this. Oh, I can't tidy up that. That's all right. That'll be fine. So let's hear what that sounds like. Save. We can turn off the pre-roll. All right, now let's start messing with this. We can briefly turn off wider. Let's take a look at the channel strip, actually. Probably don't need this crazy EQ stuff. I probably had some noise coming in. So let's turn the EQ off for now. Larry, I appreciate your input. I really do. I like the stuff that you do. It's just this is obviously such a very specific and niche kind of production that we're doing here. So it's like, it's just, I've done so many of these that I've sort of figured out like what tends to work and what. It's not that it doesn't work, it's that it doesn't end up mattering. Like yeah, I love doing all this extra work and having cool little melody bits and like ornamentation in the bass and all this other stuff, but like at the end of the day, like that stuff is going to get automated to hell as far as a dip that only I'm going to be able to hear it. And sometimes that's fine. Sometimes it's like, yeah, I'm going to leave it in there because I'm going to know it's in there and I like it. But in this case, I don't know. We're just trying to get this done by the end of the stream here. We got stuff to do. Okay, let's put on some compression here, just a little bit, really light. maybe two. Really simple compression there. Now let's bring up guitar rig and let's find something a little bit crazy. Let's go styles or effects. Ambient, sure. Let's be a little crazy. We're gonna go ahead and mute drum and bass right now and just hear the guitar. Feels like there's a sort of a delay on the front end of that I don't like. But other than that, like that's a damn cool sound. We might come back to that. So that's pretty cool. Might be a bit much. I think I'm going to go back to this one, and we're going to try to figure out what's going on with that. It sounds like it's like rolled off on the beginning. Let's take a listen. Okay. So I think we're going to basically mirror this with a synth of some kind, and then we might be good to go on there. So let's take a look here. We've got, this one is set up to be just a pad, so we'll probably grab that and then start messing with it here. So let's bring this down here. We can get rid of that playlists thing there. Save our work. Come in here and figure out what's going on here. Okay, we've got something heavy here, so let's go ahead and copy this right now. Let's make sure we let's mute everything but what we're working on right now. And you might go, Jimmy, just solo it. No. We've got all kinds of buses and stuff that would make it really annoying to try to solo this track. And nothing's happening. Why isn't it happening? Where's my output, guys? Hello? Okay. Interesting. We've got no output out of this. Oh, this might be something that has like a limited range. Like, let's bump this up an octave and see if it comes in here. I hear it. So it is. I was right. Or am I crazy? What? It is there. It's just a, this is very much a pad. So let's take a look here. Do I want mutations? This is really pad type stuff. Maybe let's go ahead and give us a pad. Let's give us a, we're going to do a D minor add that and add in that flat 6, so that way we can just like pad all the way through the entire thing here. So there's our D minor, and then here's our add flat 6, and maybe the flat 6 will be a little bit quieter than everything else, and we'll also make the 3rd a little bit quieter, and the 5th a little bit. So in ascending order of sort of strength of the notes, it's root, 5th, 3rd, flat 6. Okay, and so now we're going to be basically just letting this loop and then just picking different voices here to see what sound we actually like. So let's go to the next one. Interesting. That's a fucking vibe. I like that. Oh man, that's really fun. Let's keep going though. Okay. Aliens attacking. A vibe for sure. Pretty cool. Ooh. Come on. What do we think? Might come back to it. That one's really cool, but I need something with some of that really... I need a lot of top end on it because we're already pretty crowded down in the mid to low end with these drums, the bass, and the guitar. So we need something with a lot of that sort of really crispy top end. That's a little too much, but that's in the realm of what we want. That's pretty cool. Wow. The clock sounds, that's really fun. A little too... let's go back to the first one that we liked. It was called... Come on. It was... Back here. It was... No. It was one of these. God, not that. Too much. I think we'll go for the second one we like. That's too much. I think this is the one. All right. So what we're going to do is we're basically just going to drag this whole damn thing out. I don't know why it's trying to grab all those. All you guys get dragged out. Drag you out all the way here. And just drag you all the way out to the end. Sure. It'll end up getting faded out anyway. So let's hear what it sounds like in context with everything on. I really need to double the guitar, so we're going to duplicate this, not delete, oops. We're going to duplicate this guitar track, duplicate everything except for the audio, and we're going to just record me playing basically the exact same thing. And here we go. Let's go all the way to the beginning here. And then we pan these left and right. Here we go, electric guitar 1 and 2. You guys go all the way left. You guys go all the way right. And all that phaser action, yeah, that's badass. All right, and that does mean we can also bring these down a bit because their space in the stereo field is going to make them seem louder than they are. What else? Do we need anything else here? Do we need more ambient yada yadas? I don't think so. I think we need to go ahead and just be done with the audio portion of this. So, well, actually, we need to do a couple things. We need to put, we need a little bit more dirt on the bass. It's really not giving us everything that we want it to give us. Because if I'm just like listening to it by itself here. So I'm actually going to put trash onto the bass. Isotope trash is just such a beast. So now we're going to audition a few different isotope trash presets on the bass and just see what we like. Come on. It's pretty badass. I think this arcade acid light. That's too badass. We can't skip out on that. So there's the bass sounding way better. Do we need wider on anything? I don't think so. I think this is basically ready to go. So we've got all of our instrument tracks. If you look here on the left, everything is flowing out logically. So the drums are flowing out to a drum bus. For no really good reason, but they're all flowing out to a drum bus because often I have multiple drum tracks, but in this case we don't. Although we could throw on a rise and hit here. I don't have one ready to go though, so screw it. It's not worth it. It's not worth the effort. And then everything else, the bass, these guitars, the pad that we put on there, that's all flowing into a band bus. So on the full band bus, also, the drum bus is flowing into the band bus. So we've got buses going into buses. We've got automation here. Let's turn the automation back on to just read. And now we're going to adjust the bounds of these bad boys to where the audio ducks when the narration comes in. We're bringing that down to negative 10.8 is where we liked. So let's hear what this sounds like with the narration and that ducking going on.
He grimaced and tried to catch his breath.
Let's take a look here. That needs to duck a little bit faster. Maybe even to here.
He grimaced and tried to catch his breath. Before he could, the woman slammed her palms into his chest, sending him airborne into the water. He inhaled lake, then popped up, hacking in time to see the woman frantically scurry up the embankment at unnatural speed. He held his crotch and sucked in enough to croak, "Stop! I'm trying to help you!" The woman ignored him and was out of sight when she passed the edge of the road. He heard frenzied movement up the mountain, and seconds later, foot patters faded into raindrops.
Okay, so that feels like the narration needs to be a little bit louder, I think. Feels like I'm not getting quite enough out of the narration, or maybe I just need to drop this down just a little bit. Let's drop this down another 2.5 dB. Let's see what that duck sounds like.
He grimaced and tried to catch his breath. Before he could, the woman slammed her palms.
All right, let's throw the wider plugin onto the pad, and it doesn't match the channel. Okay. Onto the pad, multi-channel plugin, sound field wider, and I'll show you what I'm looking at here. This plugin right here. This is a free plugin that you can get. Just Google it. It's from Polyverse, or maybe it's from Infected Mushroom. It's from one of these people. And this plugin is badass. You're probably going to go to 200%. Who's only going to go to 100% when you can go to 200%? It's twice as much. And this sort of this does some tricks to sort of just basically expand the stereo field of whatever you put it on. So I think this is going to sound pretty badass.
He grimaced and tried to catch his breath.
We're going to do a little bit of EQ on this pad here. It's already got a ton on it. I want this to have a little bit more sizzle to it. Let's take a look here if I can... Hello? Contact? Okay. Can I do anything here to give us a little bit more sizzle? We've got some filters that we could do, but those are just pass filters. We've got a bright here. We can put on this screamer. So let's mute that and let's just have this loop for now. That's doing good. That's doing good. There we go. That sounds better. Hitting that little cutoff thing was good. All right, let's clean up our head and tails, all of our little transitions here so that things don't sound like total doo-doo. Like that. And then like that. We can't drag that over. That's what I thought. Okay, so we're going to have to do a quick fade there. And then we got one here as well. And again, we have to do a quick fade. That sucks. Okay, that'll be fine though. There goes that. That all gets deleted because we're going to have that fade out anyway. So here's our master track. Here is where we're going to automate a fade out on the master track. And can I just drag both of these? No, I can't. I thought maybe? Can I? No, I can't. Okay. So we're going to want the fade out to end about right here. And we're going to want it to start. And I guess a measure or so worth of fade out is about what we want. So let's hear this fade out. Starting from right here.
Raindrops.
Actually, no, I need that way sooner. This is social media content. No one's going to stick around for long fade outs. So about right there, maybe.
Raindrops.
Even faster. Even faster. Maybe to right here. Let's see here. What if we do that? Oh, it needs to read, please. Thank you. As abrupt as that feels, it's not super satisfying. That is how fast it's going to need to actually fade out for the end product.
Raindrops.
Maybe we give it a little bit more. Maybe give it a little bit more.
Raindrops.
Yeah, I think it's better. Okay. That's it. We're done. Let's turn on our ozone. And I don't think we need to turn on any other of this stuff. I think we're good to go. So we're going to have that, I think maybe to here. Where is our cutoff here? Maybe to here. That looks about right. All right, save. Bounce this out. We're bouncing this out as not on that drive. We're going to go to this drive. Pro Tools bounces, headliner audio, and we're calling this 032 headliner audio. I don't remember if headliner lets you upload a wave or just an MP3. Thank you, Telecaster, for your service. Tell you right there. All right, now we're going to go over into headliner, and we're going to make this thing into a damned video. Where is my headliner? Here it is. So we've done the hard part. The hard part is that, so let's see, what we're going to do now is we're going to make 2 versions of this for our client. So we're going to make a coming soon and a listen now version. So basically we're just using this as a template. Actually, can I need to see, I need to copy these actually. So copy, and we're going to call this, you bastard, copy, 032, Accidental Healers, the name of the book, and this is the listen now. In fact, we're going to go ahead and copy that to make it quicker. Copy. And then we need to make another copy for the coming soon. So there we go. Copy. Okay, now we can open both the coming soon and the listen now. We need to go into ACX and we need to grab the art here. Actually, I think I've already got this saved. Let's take a look here. Desktop. Maybe I don't have it saved. I should have a folder on the desktop. All right, we're going to make a folder on the desktop. New folder, headliner. And then we're going to open this in a new tab. Hello, please, please, please. Okay. Drag that into there. Now I can go into headliner. So this is our little template. This is the last project that we did. And this is sort of set up like an Adobe Premiere or whatever it is that you're using to edit video. Up here in the top left is where your track information or item information for whatever you're looking at is. But right now, since we've got this set up, we've done all this work ahead of time. We've got our track here on the bottom that perhaps my head is kind of covering a little bit, but whatever. Trust me, this track here that I've got selected is the track for the image. So we're going to replace that. Where's upload? Upload. And we're going to drag and drop, add to video. So that's simple. We have simply replaced that image with the new art. Looks great. They did a really great job with that art. And the only other thing I need to replace is the audio itself, the audio that we just made. So we're going to hit replace on the audio, add audio, upload. We need to navigate over here to the audio that we just made. 032. I can upload a wave. Why not? It's only data. It's only data. So while that's uploading, we're going to come over to this other project, and there's probably a better way to do this within Headliner, but this is how we're doing it. We have just 2 different projects just for the 2 different, let's go back. 2 different projects for one that says coming soon and one says listening now. This is the most efficient way that I have found to make this work. Might be a smarter way to do it, but I'd rather not have to go in there and like retype stuff. So we're doing this. That one went really quick. Very strange. Okay. Add to video. Here, add to video. So when you upload the audio, it will automatically update the waveform across the bottom. Okay. Now it's going to take a while to add so as I drag forward along the timeline here, we should, hello. In fact, we'll just go ahead and hit play.
He grimaced and tried to catch his breath. Before he could, the woman slammed her palms into his chest, sending him airborne into the water. He inhaled lake, then popped up, hacking.
If I was being paid for this is just something that I do, again, for my clients, for free, just for them to use or not use as they decide. If I were being paid for this product, I might go back and rebalance it with the narration just a couple dB higher again. I feel like the narration is being just the slightest bit buried, but I think it's fine. Again, this is just social media. It ain't that serious. So we're going to drag this out to, we're going to call the end of this, what? 40:04. So now we have to like manually drag out the ends of all these clips so we don't have things cutting off. So 40:04, 40:04. There we go. And this one's done. So we're going to do export here. Sure, export. And then here we have to do the same thing. Please go to the end and zoom in. Come up to the top and 40:04. 40:04. 40:04. And last one, 40:04. All right, and that just makes sure that all the way to the end of the video, we're going to have, please update, please update. There it is. We've got the text, the Audible logo, the cover art, our background image, and the waveform. So there are technically 5 video elements, visual elements: text, logo, cover art, background image, and the waveform. And then there's the one audio element. So all of that is what we're seeing there. And that's done. So we're going to export this one as well. On a Headliner, you get 5... Oh, God.
Before we dive further into
God.
ETFs or exchange-traded funds,
Mute
it's
site.
important.
You can't click this mute button, but I can mute the site. It says right here, you can pause or mute this clip in 49 seconds. My brother in Christ, I'm just going to mute the whole tab. I have hacked your algorithm, my friends. So, Headliner, you get 5 free video exports per month. So if you're not doing a high volume of stuff, then you can chill with a free account. And yeah, you got to watch an annoying ad whenever you export, but you just mute the tab and you're good to go. But otherwise, this generates like a nice and easy video here that we'll be able to watch in a bit here. I'm going to switch over to this tab and it's probably going to hit me with another ad. Let's see. Yep. It muted the tab. Good. So this is exporting as well. So both these are exporting. But maybe we'll get to see those on the stream here shortly. Snappy tomato pizza on hold recording. You love the OHR jobs, the IVR jobs. The phone stuff is good stuff. But I think we're probably going to, if we can hopefully wrap up and see the finished product here, surely it's not actually going to take that long. Come on, guys. I'd like to be able to see the finished product before we say goodbye, you know? It'd be kind of disappointing if we didn't get to see the finished product. But at any rate, while we're here, we're going to get ready for the next bit of work we have to do. And what is that? Oh, God. So I've been sort of teasing, hinting at some cool stuff coming up for us audiobook-wise. And the biggest thing there is that next week I'm going to begin production on a book for Podium Audio, and this is my first project with Podium Audio. It's my first project for what I would consider to be a major audiobook publisher. So it's really cool. It's a little bit scary because they've got their own processes and they've got a whole team. I've got like 5-6 people working on this one audiobook with me, and so it's a bit daunting. It's a bit lots of new things, new workflows come into play, but it's a bit of a big deal, and I'm excited to get working on it. The book that I picked up with Podium is a memoir for he's an Afghanistan war veteran, and he was in Afghanistan the same time that I was in Afghanistan, in the same part of the country. So it is not impossible that I've actually met this guy before. He deployed to Afghanistan in the middle of 2012, and he was all over RC South, and that's where I was. And in fact, like, I just sort of skimmed through the book and looked at some of the photos. I'm like, man, like that's what it looked like. That's where it was. So it's pretty cool, and I think that our shared experience is probably a big reason why I got the deal for the book. But we're excited either way. So that's happening, and then I booked another deal with a smaller publisher, but still a good publisher. That I am basically picking up a series from an incredibly talented narrator, a guy named John Perhala. He's the narrator who narrated the books before, and I'm picking up book 9. I would assume that he is simply just too busy. John Perhala is like a major narrator who stay busy. So I'm picking up book 9, and it's part of the USS Hamilton series, and I'm really excited to get to work on that. So that'll follow up after this Afghanistan memoir book. And then following off of that, I've got book 1 of a 4-book series that I picked up, and then following that, I've got book 10 of a series that I've narrated the entire series thus far. My calendar is completely blocked out, and it's starting to freak me out a little bit, but I'm not at all complaining, because I know that I'm very, very lucky to have these kinds of problems. We've got the video to look at here. Can we make this like full screen? Let's take a look and a listen, shall we? Oh, I've muted the tab. I muted the tab. The tab's still muted. All right, unmute site. So let's make this full screen. And this will be like a reaction video. I'm in the corner, right? No, I'm not. Oh, I need to come back to full screen. Here we go.
He grimaced and tried to catch his breath. Before he could, the woman slammed her palms into his chest, sending him airborne into the water. He inhaled lake, then popped up, hacking in time to see the woman frantically scurry up the embankment at unnatural speed. He held his crotch and sucked in enough to croak, "Stop! I'm trying to help you!" The woman ignored him and was out of sight when she passed the edge of the road. He heard frenzied movement up the mountain, and seconds later, foot patters faded into raindrops.
All right, there we go. That is some social media content for the author to use as they see fit. I'll probably post that on my own Instagram and so forth. But yeah, it took us a little over an hour, I think, to produce that. If we were off the stream and not having to explain every silly decision that we were making, then maybe we would have gone a little bit faster. But it only took that long because I was creating like brand new music from scratch. If we were able to use music from a template, so example, this is book 2 in a series. I should have just been able to use music from book 1, the promo video I did for that, but again, because it was so different. Larry, thanks for coming by. Hope you have a good one. I'm about to shut the stream down anyway, so we'll see you next time. But on this, I had to create new music, so that's why it took so long. But hopefully, when you're doing book 2 or 3 in a series, you can just reuse the music from the prior project, and it'll be that much faster. Like the longest part of the process should be like waiting for your headliner audio to bounce out, for your video to be processed, and really like at the very beginning of the process, like finding a good 30 seconds of audio to use. That took a while, but we've got it. We've got that done, and so we've got a nice little present for our author. It's going to make them very happy, so that'll be fun. But I think that is going to wrap up the stream for us. So I want to thank Larry for swinging by. I want to thank Vince for stopping by briefly. Very excited to be working with Vince in the future here. But we had fun today. We'll see you again on Monday, and we might be doing some fun audiobook narration live on the stream and only live on the stream. If that's what we decide to do, that will be doing, again, this Podium Audio project where they are good with live streaming of narration, but not in such a way where it goes into a VOD or anywhere that people can grab it sort of in perpetuity. So it can exist live on Twitch, but it can't be accessed forever thereafter. So no VOD for the Twitch, and that also probably means not simultaneously streaming to YouTube if I'm narrating that particular project. So we'll figure out all of that stuff when we come to it. But we are going to call that a day. So I want to say thank you for hanging out, stopping by while we got some work done. Really cool things happening. I hope things are going well for you. I hope that your auditions are going well. I hope that you're booking and making that money and having fun while you're doing it. I know that I'm having fun, and a big part of it is because of y'all folks coming by. So thank you. My name is Jimmy Moreland of veteranaudio.com. If you want to pay me to talk for you, head over to veteranaudio.com. All my contact information is there. Demos to where you can listen to what I sound like on a fully produced commercial. All that good stuff is there. And until next time, we'll see you. We love you. Bye.